Power, politics, and a past life in comedy, Volodymyr Zelenskyy's journey is anything but ordinary. From making people laugh on stage to leading a country at war, his transformation is straight out of a movie. Except this one's real. But beyond the headlines and heated debates, who is Zelensky? What shaped him? And who's been by his side through every twist and turn? Yep, it's his wife, Olena Zelenska.
That is my love, and that is my best friend, so that is my energy.
She's not just Ukraine's first lady, she's his first and only love. And, through their relationship, we might just get the clearest picture of who Zelensky really is. It all began at a school in their hometown in Ukraine. Back then, Volodymyr was a senior, and Olena, a freshman at the school. Now, here's the fun part. Olena doesn't even remember their first meeting, but she knew of him because, let's be real, Volodymyr was a bit of a star back then. With his stylish clothes and trendy haircut, he definitely stood out.
В нашем классе много девчонок были в него влюблены.
Olena, on the other hand, preferred to stay in the background, more focused on her studies than schoolyard fame. So, their relationship didn't kick off right away. But fate had a different plan. After finishing school, Olena was at National University, studying construction, while Volodymyr was pursuing a law degree.
Да, закончил юрфак. В общем, как-то и очень хорошо закончил, и учился вроде как.
At the time, Olena was already seeing someone, so she wasn't exactly looking for new romance. But Volodymyr had his eyes on her. He just couldn't find the right moment to introduce himself. That's when his friend, Oleksandr Pikolov, stepped in with a plan. Pikolov, who would later become Volodymyr's colleague in the comedy show that made Zelensky famous, knew that Volodymyr liked Olena but wasn't bold enough to approach her. So, he came up with a clever trick. He would ask Olena for a video cassette, and then Volodymyr would have the perfect excuse to return it and start a conversation. But Volodymyr remembers it differently. In his version, there was no grand plan, just a twist of fate. One day, they ran into each other on the street, and Olena happened to be holding a Basic Instinct cassette. That sparked their conversation. Volodymyr, seeing his chance, asked if he could borrow the tape to watch the movie, and then, as any smooth operator would, he asked for her phone number. They started talking, and soon enough, their bond began to grow. Volodymyr's quick wit and sense of humor were key to winning her over. Though, Olena admits, at first their relationship wasn't all fireworks, but once they clicked, it was like they'd known each other forever.
We have become more interested in each other.
By the late 90s, they were both carving out their places in the entertainment world. In 1997, Volodymyr took a huge step and formed a comedy group called Kvartal 95, along with his friends from their hometown. Named after one of the city's districts, the group quickly gained attention for their unique mix of scripted and improvised sketches. Volodymyr took on the role of leader, both on stage and behind the scenes, guiding the team's creative direction while also being its most recognizable performer. His sharp wit and magnetic stage presence made him a breakout star. But it wasn't just his talent that stood out. His colleagues admired him not only as a performer, but also as a person. His loyalty, kindness, and dedication made him the heart of the team.
Когда ты выбираешь быть с людьми, с твоими друзьями, и ты их не променяешь ни на что, ни на ковришки, ни на то.
As Olena Kravitz, the only woman in the Kvartal 95 sketch group, once said, "I think he never betrays himself or his principles, and what he believes in. If he believes in something, there's really no way to overcome the obstacles. He pushes through everything. Volodymyr is a man with heart, a fiery engine, as they say. I think his endless talent is in how he managed to stay creative, remain an artist, stay a writer, to write something on paper, to create, to stay alone with himself, while also managing a big business."
Часто уявляю собі, як ми зустрінемось після перемоги, і мені здається, я буду його дуже довго обіймати.
Meanwhile, Volodymyr's future wife, Olena Zelenska, worked behind the scenes as a writer, contributing material that helped Kvartal 95 become a household name. Their lives were filled with rehearsals, shows, and tours, working side by side but not rushing into marriage just yet. Despite their close connection, they lived separately for years. Volodymyr wasn't ready to become a father yet, and Olena respected his hesitation. But a movie night in 2003 changed everything. Something in the film clicked for Volodymyr, and he realized that he was finally ready to start a family. 8 years after they first started dating, in 2003, they made the decision to marry.
I don't have any other experience. I've got only one wife and I am happy.
Their lives continued to revolve around entertainment, with Volodymyr becoming a household name across Ukraine and beyond. In 2004, their happiness grew even more when they welcomed their first child, Oleksandra. Then, in 2013, their family got even bigger with the arrival of their son, Kirilo. It was a beautiful new chapter filled with love and joy.
Конечно, папа шутит много, но если дело заходит для чего-то серьезного, он становится сразу серьезным и не похоже, что он даже когда-то шутил.
Today, Oleksandra is studying law at a Ukrainian university, while Kirilo is still in school. According to Olena, the war has profoundly impacted their son. He has developed a strong interest in military affairs and dreams of serving in the army or aviation. Now, back to the past. As Volodymyr's fame skyrocketed, so did his career. By 2015, Volodymyr had already been a big star in Ukraine, starting with Kvartal 95 and appearing in movies. But when he created a series called Servant of the People, it was his time to truly shine. It is a political satire, where he played an everyday school teacher who unexpectedly becomes president of Ukraine. The show made him a household name. It turned out to be eerily prophetic. Life truly has a way of imitating art, doesn't it? Fast forward to 2019, and Volodymyr found himself stepping into the real role of president of Ukraine.
Я иду в президенты України.
But little did he know, the road ahead would be anything but easy. The ongoing war in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, the annexation of Crimea, Ukraine had been grappling with these crises for years. Now, let's just say, Olena wasn't exactly jumping for joy at the thought of him running for president, and his parents were deeply anxious too.
Вчера были сильные переживания.
Вчера же был
Вчера
суд.
суд.
Ну, до часу ночи
Мы уже посмотрели.
посмотрели. Сейчас успокоились, конечно.
But Volodymyr, true to his nature, didn't back down. He was determined to make a change, even if the journey ahead was uncertain.
I agree with the theory that marriage gets stronger with challenges.
As president, Volodymyr made regular visits to the front lines in Donbass, where the conflict was still raging. Olena understandably was worried. The thought of him being so close to danger weighed heavily on her, but she never opposed him. Instead, she supported him every step of the way.
Ніхто в мене чоловіка не забере, навіть війна.
Volodymyr, as Supreme Commander-in-Chief, believed it was his duty to boost the morale of the soldiers on the front lines. In his words, "Our shared duty is to remember the heroes. My personal duty is to support the morale of the military, who are on the front line doing everything they can to protect Ukraine." Then came COVID-19, yet another hurdle for the new president during an already difficult time. It felt like the challenges just kept piling up. And just when it seemed like life might return to normal after the pandemic, everything changed on February 24th, 2022, the day that would be etched into the memory of every Ukrainian. Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. That moment divided time into two parts, before and after.
Наступая, вы будете видеть наши лица. Не наши спины, наши лица.
The war has obviously taken a huge toll on Zelensky and his family. Even though he was offered a chance to leave, Volodymyr chose to stay with his people. When the US offered to evacuate him, he told them, "The fight is here. I need ammunition, not a ride." That moment really showed his determination to stand with Ukraine, no matter what.
Президент тут. Всі ми тут. Наші військові тут. Громадяни суспільства тут. Всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність.
The threat was real. An assassination attempt was made on his life in the early days of the invasion. It's hard to imagine the weight of that decision, not just for him, but for Olena, who knew that every day brought a new danger to her family. But still, Zelensky's wife and children decided to stay in Ukraine during the war. The most important thing is that my children are proud of me, and I'm glad they are in Ukraine. This is very important for a president, former or current. When you are at war with a state, your children must be here because the country is here, because our boys and girls are dying here, he said.
Родина вже ж, як і всі українські родини, зараз роз'єднана.
And when the world is at its hardest, they still manage to make each other laugh. It's this bond of friendship and mutual respect that has kept their relationship strong. "We are friends, real friends for each other," Olena says, and that's truly the secret of their marriage. In interviews, Zelensky has also admitted how much he misses his family.
Я їх люблю. Безумовно, свою дружину. Мої діти – головні люди для мене.
Their time together is limited, but the constant communication and mutual understanding keep them grounded. And while Volodymyr jokes about missing Olena's breakfast-making skills, it's clear that they both make the best of their situation.
Nobody gives me breakfast in the morning.
Despite the hardships, Zelensky remains confident in the strength of their marriage. True love only grows stronger when it goes through difficult times, Olena believes, and that's exactly how she sees her relationship with Volodymyr.
We want to say, let's love each other and let's love Ukraine.
Volodymyr and Olena Zelenskyy's story is more than just about politics and war. It's about love, sacrifice, and a shared dream for a brighter future.
You asked whether I thought this war would last so long. No, because I didn't start this war.
Through it all, their bond remains unbreakable. Volodymyr isn't just a leader. He's a loving dad, a devoted husband, and someone who's always there for his people. Together with Olena, they face every challenge side by side. And that, my friends, is something truly special.